2020 is shaping up to be a heated election season in Georgia, and joining us for an in-depth look at some recent developments is CBS 46 political analyst, university professor Dr. Rashad. Richie is in. Rashad, thanks as always for coming in on a Friday evening.
Thank you for having me.
Got to talk about Stacey Abrams. She's again making headlines. Just yesterday, she said she is still considering entering the Democratic race for president. The headline came out of an interview she did on the podcast Pod Save America. Now, Abrams also explained the factors she may be considering in that decision. Let's listen.
We cannot win elections in America for the people if we do not have candidates who are fighting against voter suppression. But we also have to have candidates who are fighting for all of us, who realize that this is not an election against Donald Trump. It is for America. We have to have a strategy that looks at every state and understands how can we maximize our turnout, not to win the popular vote, but to win the Electoral College vote. I'm looking at all that, and I want to make certain that the candidates who are moving forward are paying attention to that and have plans for that. If I think they don't, I'll probably jump in myself.
Okay, so she said a lot there, Rashad. I want to know what you heard, but isn't the question a simple one? I know what she's saying, and she only knows the answer, whether she'll run for the presidency, but don't we know the answer already, whether she's running or not?
I don't know if we really know if she's running or not, because sometimes, Sharon, candidates jump into the presidential race not to actually win, but to push an agenda. And that's what I heard here. I heard Stacey Abrams playing politics the way politics is supposed to be played. How do you do that? You come up with an agenda. She ran for governor in the state of Georgia, and her agenda was voter suppression, voter engagement, voter tactics, etc. That was her agenda. Well, after her defeat, she has stayed on that agenda. Now she has said to every Democrat running, if you do not make voter issues part of your platform, I will jump in this race and I will run for president myself. Why? To extend and expand the conversation of voter rights in the United States.
All right, so she's kind of holding their feet to the fire is what you're saying. We also know that she had a very well-attended reception. She's had several of these. The cheapest ticket last night in Morningside, I think, was $100, but we're really talking upwards of $10,000 and so on. What is she up to?
Well, she's raising money to continue with voter engagement and voter strategy efforts. I think this is actually a win for Leader Abrams, and here's why. When this election gets hot and heated, Democrats, regardless of who becomes the nominee, will benefit from an emerging voter class being registered to vote. We know that Stacey Abrams has demonstrated a huge ability to register and organize a lot of voters at one time in the state of Georgia. So maybe you maximize that program, and this is possibly the prerequisite fundraising to have more of a national campaign with voter engagement. Okay,
real quick, I want to squeeze this in. Georgia's coming off of historic midterm elections here, and we want to know more about the 6th congressional district, and almost won the 7th congressional district. No Abrams at the top of the ticket. What's going to change in 2020?
We will see. It's tough for these Democrats who came close, or some who were victorious, to have the exact same matchup in 2020, because you must have a strong Democrat running at the top of the ticket in the state of Georgia. I'm not saying that won't happen, but all of these candidates and elected officials know if it does not happen, their road to re-election or to election period becomes more difficult in this state.
All right, so Lucy McBath will be watching that closely as well. As always, Rashad, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.